I thought the way that you announced the blog post was particularly interesting, and I'd
Mm,
like to talk about that
certainly.
somewhat. Let me bring up the tweet. Bring up the tweet. All right, fine. All right, so I have found the tweet. Guys, I went a bit overboard and wrote a 2,500 word update about my personal and business goals for 2021. Lol. Check it out here if you like, and then a link. So there were two things that stood out to me about the tweets. Can you guess what they were?
Overboard and lol.
Correct.
All right.
Why do you think those stood out for me?
I think overboard and lol stood out for you because it sounds very apologetic.
Yes. Yeah, I think apologetic is a good word for it. Yeah, it's like it's a pattern that I think lots of people do, particularly when sort of publicizing something that they've just done.
Mm.
They'll sort of do it in a very apologetic tone. So a really common sort of way of doing it is like if you've written something, if you've recently made something or done something, there's this weird phrase that people say, which is, "So I did a thing," you know. They'll say like, "So I did a thing," and then they'll like link to whatever whatever they've just done. And why did you do it?
I felt like I probably felt some level of discomfort at the blatant self promotion and some
Dude,
level
dude,
of
can I stop you there? You literally have a YouTube channel for a living, and you self-promote, like, or even on Twitter with your little clips and stuff. Like, how is
it's
this different?
okay. It's different because writing 2,500 words about my own personal goals is like a different form of self promotion than writing 2,500 words about how to be more productive.
Oh, okay, because it's more like personal and self-serving almost.
Yeah, it's like almost like a public journal,
Okay.
public slash public private journal, and therefore I felt like I felt the need to give a nod to the fact that I was self-aware about the fact that this is a self-promotey slash like type thing. Therefore, the overboard and lol came into it.
If someone else who you followed, I don't know, Tiago Forte, for example, if Tiago wrote a 2,500 word update about his personal and business goals for 2021, and he didn't uh, signal his self-awareness about how like self-indulgent that is, like what would you think if Tiago just like earnestly posts, "Hey guys, here it is, my 2021 goals update. Let me know what you think." Like, would you think, "Oh man, what a prick.
Oh
How
no,
how self-indulgent."
there's no self-awareness there. No, I would just be like, okay, cool, click, read.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you like stand by it, or do you think that was like a yeah? Do you stand by what you did? So, that sounds like you've committed a heinous crime, which you have to be clear. Insincerity is the most heinous of crimes.
I'm not sure insincerity is the word that I would use.
Why not?
Because you could be sincere about something while also recognizing that it's a little bit while also recognizing that it's a little bit self-indulgent to write a 2,500 word blog post in public about your own personal goals.
Uh,
I think I was sincere but not serious.
I don't think you were sincere, mate,
Okay, why do you think I was not sincere?
because you felt the need to coat this in like a layer of not irony, but a layer of sort of humor or something.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, if
For
that's what
sincere means
definition,
free from pretense or deceit.
I feel like there was no pretense or
Saying what
deceit
they.
around it. There was just
Sorry.
the strong conviction wasn't there.
Okay, okay. I guess you were sincere in the sense that you were genuinely insecure about this thing, and you were signaling the insecurity by saying the overboard and the loss. So you
Correct.
were like you were being sincere in
Of
that
course,
sense.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm always sincere in the things I do online, man.
but yeah, I guess like do you stand by the insecurity? Like on the 2022 update, you're going to do the same thing?
I think now, like if like now that I've done it a few times, like now that I've done it once, it will be less of a weird thing to
Okay.
like for me to do in the future. But like if like, okay, let's imagine. let's imagine like pick a random, a stereotypical hypothetical Twitter think boy that you like to rail against. I think
I
part
don't
of why
look.
you rail
No, I don't really against anyone. To be
fine.
clear.
Okay, sure. But let's pretend there is like, a Twitter think boy who is
Yeah.
tweeting like with conviction fortune cookie tweets that
Yeah.
are not based on any kind of personal experience, but they're purely based on repackaging insights from Naval or James
Yeah.
Clear.
Right.
I think I wouldn't want to do that. Like that's not the impression that I want to give on the internet, that I am the sort of person who has so much conviction about this secondhand experience that I will just put it out there as a tweet. I would
I swear
like
you've
there.
made video. Haven't you made videos literally like these are the 5 takeaways I got from this book or whatever?
Yeah, but like a video saying, "Hey guys, I really enjoyed this book, and here are 5 takeaways I got," is different to consistency is more important than intensity. Full stop. Yeah,
Okay, fine,
like
fine.
I could tweet consistency is more important than intensity. Full stop. But it's just a different kind of vibe, and that's not me, unless I feel like I've gained that insight from personal
Okay,
experience, and then
okay.
I can,
Yeah.
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 And equally, yes, I could say, "Hey guys, here's my 2021 March goals update." Link. But I just think it's more me to be like, "Hey guys, lol, went a bit overboard. Here's my 21 goals update if anyone wants to read it, lol."
Really? That's for you?
Yeah. That's more authentic to who I am IRL than, guys, here's my goals update.
I
Like in a
see.
social situation, I wouldn't just be like, "Right guys, I'm going to update you about my goals." Like it's just
Dude,
not a thing.
Twitter isn't a social situation.
It kind
Um,
of is. It's got its own, like, in a way we're all signaling our personalities online.
okay.
And I tend to be more apologetic about the way that I portray myself online than other people might do. I think that's fine.
Hmm. Let me think about that for a second.
I think for me the sort of alleged self-awareness and bordering on imposter syndrome, bordering on kind of wanting to not be seen as like a brash American with like huge conviction, like tweeting about stuff like
Yeah,
American
yeah,
vibes. Not
yeah,
wanting
yeah.
to be seen in that way because that feels not me. I think I probably take that too far when it comes to things like the book. I
Mm.
think I do an okay job of it on the YouTube channel because I'm comfortable enough in the form of YouTube videos to know that what I say has value. Whereas when
Yeah.
it comes to writing a book or writing blog posts, which are two things that I'm less used to,
Okay.
yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess they are different mediums. Yeah, I think partly why I was surprised was like I was kind of thinking, look, I'd understand this if it was coming from if this was the first time someone has put themselves out there on the internet and they're kind of shy about it or insecure about it, whatever, and so they do that. Also, I did a thing or whatever to try and announce it. But I just thought it was weird coming from you because you've obviously been doing this a while. But you're saying that writing a blog post doesn't feel at all like making a YouTube video.
yes. Making a YouTube video, I made a YouTube video about my goals for 2021. I didn't need to hedge anything on there.
Ah, okay.
Whereas, yeah, the medium of blog post I think was where because it was just a bit different for me. Like I don't write 2,000 word blog posts about myself. It's just not a thing.
Okay, okay.
So that made it feel like more of a, hey, this is pushing the boat out rather than it being like a standard part of my life.
Hmm. Did it feel more like revealing than making a YouTube video about the same topic?
It did, in a way. It did because seeing stuff on paper is like very different to just sort of having it's like making a video about a topic that isn't like scripted, like my goals one, like wasn't scripted.
Yeah,
Making a video about that just kind of feels like chatting to a friend. It feels
yeah,
like not a big deal in the slightest.
yeah,
Whereas putting it down on paper and publishing it as a blog post on a website feels more permanent, more legit, more like, okay, I actually have to think about this
yeah.
rather than I can just kind of say whatever the hell I want.
Mm.
So like I have no qualms about saying stuff on this podcast, but if I were to write those things down, I'd have to think harder about them
Yeah, well, yeah, for
because
sure. Yeah,
I would need and also just the medium of writing requires ideas to be more well thought out than the medium of podcast or the medium of video.
I think there's a perception that the medium of writing requires ideas to be like more well thought out. But I mean, certainly there are plenty of people who do more stream of conscious style blogging, journaling, whatever. I don't think it has to be that way. But yeah, I do think there is something more like if you're, like we're talking on the podcast or whatever. there's an understanding that the words are just like coming out of our mouths. We're not really thinking too much about this. But I think when you decide to write something, unless explicitly you're like, look, this is a stream of consciousness thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't edit this, blah blah blah. And I know some people do that, and it's pretty interesting. Unless you're actually doing that, then you are deliberately choosing all the words that you've said, and there is something revealing about every choice that you've made for every one of those words in that piece. You know,
Exactly.
your soul is sort of is in there basically.
Like, it's very easy for me to say on a YouTube video, "Hey guys, I'm trying to find a wife this year. Lol, I'm going to call it my wife quest." But putting that
Yeah.
down on paper, like, this year
Yeah.
I have decided to embark on the wife quest.
Yeah, this dude sat at his
Okay.
desk
Yeah.
and wrote the words "wife quest." Yeah, it's different. It's different for sure. Okay, that is interesting.